Hello friends, this is Carrie. I hope you all are staying in and staying healthy. Welcome back to I Like Reddit channel. Today we have 4 stories out of the Entitled Parent subreddit. Let's begin. Our first story is posted by Pastel Soli. I don't care if you're severely allergic to peanuts, eat the peanuts my son gave you. This happened literally half an hour ago, and I'm fuming emotionally and physically. The wonderful cast is EM, I don't know, EK, Little Angel, me, Marinated Envelope. For context, I've been severely allergic to peanuts since I was born. If I have even a single peanut, my body will try and strangle me. My throat closes up and I start swelling up. I even lost consciousness once at a restaurant since the staff lied about not adding peanut oil to my food. So I wanted to see what I could do with my cooking skills during my time off. I looked up a recipe, wrote down the ingredients, and went to Costco. Also, I ran out of a lot of ingredients, so it was mandatory too. As soon as I walked in, I could already hear the screaming coming from the customer service counter. Apparently EM price gouged toilet paper, sold them, and then bought a huge amount of peanuts. Apparently she wanted to sell some peanuts at one of those little stands that gives out free samples. But since the Voldemort virus is crazy right now, all of them are gone. She started handing out peanuts by the handful. She wasn't even wearing gloves. 2 little kids who started eating them instantly before the parents noticed, then throwing the peanuts at the parents who tried to stop her. She was a real nut job. She went up to me and tried to give me peanuts, which I declined, explaining my allergy. She scoffed, went to EK, give him some peanuts, and told him to run up to me. EK ran up to me. In a high-pitched voice, he asked if I want peanuts. At this point, security was starting to notice something, but were too busy getting customers to pay and leave so the virus doesn't spread. I declined his peanut offering, and before you know it, he screamed like a banshee. EM ran up to me and proceeds to slap me, trying to force a peanut in my mouth. She succeeded, and I felt the swelling. I looked for my EpiPen in my pocket and realized I forgot it at home. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was gonna die. Someone called security, and I passed out right as I was trying to get up, hitting my head on a metal rack. I went into one of those phases where I could just barely hear what was going on. I heard the EM say that I was a drunk crackhead who tried to force himself on her. I woke up in the hospital feeling better. The EM got arrested for assault and other things, and I'm pressing charges since I'll get money to pay off these freaking hospital bills. Thank God she doesn't have the virus, or the situation would be a lot worse. What the hell is wrong with this woman? Anaphylaxis is a real thing that people die of every year. And even if this guy wasn't allergic, it's still assault. I mean, he said no, and she wouldn't take no for an answer, so forcing food down his throat because he didn't want any of her damn peanuts? In what universe is that okay? I'm glad that the OP made a full recovery, and I hope they go after this person to the fullest extent of the law, as well as getting money for their medical bills. Moving on to our next story. Our next story is posted by Hi CCTL. Mom's new boyfriend starts acting as if he would be my dad, and at first made her back him through smart lies till he overplayed his hand big time, satisfying karma at the end. Let me first give you some background so you get where people are coming from. My father has left a few years prior. Mom bought a small house from the money from the divorce, and a few months before had gotten herself a boyfriend. At first, I was truly happy she had moved on, but I soon realized she had fallen for some real POS. Now, you need to understand, my father was an alcoholic and a narcissist, so my mom's normal meter was truly broken. Anybody treating her halfway decent must have appeared like Prince Charming to her. So please don't judge her too harshly for her choices. I don't. Now, he was not only halfway decent, he really treated her well, though he was an a-hole to me. Brought her flowers, went out to eat regularly, etc. But what I realized, and she did not, was that he was a parasite. He had about maybe $100 to his name, and his only income as support was from the state, a couple of $100. Now, I already hear you ask, how did he afford flowers and going out? By living rent-free and have all his costs paid for till he gets back up on his feet. One last thing, as the headline already told you, he soon started to show an immense entitlement towards me. Basically, he said, this is his house, so I now have to follow his rules. Of course, I told him this is my mom's house, not his, and I do not have to do jack unless my mom tells me so. He took this really badly since he has an ego problem, as you probably already guessed. I tried to tell my mom, and she would not believe me since he already acted very nice to me when she was around. But as soon as the Cold War started, he pulled a lot of small crap like demanding in a patronizing voice I bring him some beer while watching TV with me while mom was in the loo. When she came back, he told her he asked me nicely to bring him some beer when I stood up to get something, but I refused, insulted him, and sat back down. So of course, she told me to apologize and get him a beer. I tried to explain, but she would not let me, so he kept pulling petty crap to establish dominance. After this whole story, I asked my mom why she would always believe him and not let me explain. Apparently, he had told her I was super jealous he was in the house and wanted to get rid of him by trying to make him look bad. So she backed him to show me he was not going anywhere. Time for the main act. I had gone out the night from Friday to Saturday and had come back at 3 a.m. My mom was gone over the weekend and he freaking exploded. How dare I disrespect him like that coming home this late? I told him calmly he does not get to declare a curfew for me. Mom allows me coming home this late, which is true provided I stayed at the houses of 3 specific people I am friends with whose parents are my mom's friends. He flipped out even more and called me a dirty liar. He then gave me the classic, "As long as you put my legs under his table," and me being a smartass, of course, answered, "This is my mom's house and my house. You are a guest here." He screamed at me that he was going to kick me out of the house and I would not be allowed back until my mom returns. I screamed back he cannot do that since this is not his house. I threatened to call my mom. He, emboldened by her backing him up all the time, told me to just do that. But I better not lie to her and tell her what is actually happening. I put her on speaker and told her, "He's trying to kick me out of the house until you come back Monday." It was Saturday. She did not believe me and told me to put him on the line. So he started telling her I disrespected him as the man of the house by coming home so late and lying to him about this being okay when I stay at a friend's house and that I need to learn to respect him. So it's up to him how he disciplines me since she's not there. Then he lied and said that he told me to come home at 1 a.m. For the first time, he let the mask slip, and she picked up on it right away. Her. So, let me get this straight. I allow my son to be out until 3 a.m., but you think you get to overrule my decision on my son, and now you think you get to kick my son out of his house? He realized he screwed up. He tried to get her to take his side, but only dug his hole deeper. Him. "Well, he keeps not respecting me in my own house. If you let him win now, he will never respect me." Her. "And you think the right punishment for disrespect is to kick him out for 2 days? Him. "Yes. Finally, you get it. I knew you'd come around." Her. "Well, he did nothing wrong, since he was allowed to go out that late. You have no right to just overrule my decisions on my son." Him. "But her, I'm not done. Apparently you think the right punishment for your disrespect is that you get kicked out until Monday." Him. "But I only have $100. This is not fair. Where am I supposed to go?" Her. "I'm sure my son had even less money and you didn't care. You got 30 minutes to leave. I tell the neighbors to check. If you're still here in half an hour, he will call the police and you'll be trespassed. When I come home Monday, we'll talk." I am such an idiot for not believing my son. Once Mom came home, I told her how he kept pulling this crap on me, and she was so sorry she kept backing him up. I had tried to tell her many times he treated me exactly like my father did when she was not around. One major reason for their divorce. But since he treated her so differently and acted so differently than my father, she believed him that I was jealous and tried to get rid of him. But when she heard him say these words my father said so many times, "You owe me respect since you live in my house," she suddenly realized I was telling the truth all along while he was the liar. That is why she got so furious so fast. She never realized how badly he really treated me and how entitled he acted since He had hidden it so well before. But when he started to talk about deserving respect in his own house, something my father kept saying from me, a house that he did not put a penny into, but was somehow his, even worse, was thinking that he could overrule her own son. My father kept overruling her decisions. So she finally saw through him and got all the evidence she needed. I was telling her the truth all along. They broke up that Monday. He never got back into the house. They met for coffee and she demanded the keys back. Originally, she wanted to give him a month, but when she entered the bar they met at, he right away started to scream at her about how dare she kick him out of the house like this, and that now he would never get respect from me that he's entitled to. So she told him she is only here to ask for the keys back and that they were through. P.S. I did not know if this belongs here or an entitled people. It fits both, so I posted it in both. A couple of things. Respect is earned and not given. And to the OP, to this young man in this story, he didn't owe this guy a damn thing. And this guy didn't do anything to try and earn his respect. The other thing that I think the boyfriend was trying to do is if he wasn't going to get respect from the son, then he was going to try and drive a wedge between the mom and the son so that the mom, in the end, would end up siding with him because he's, of course, the dominant guy in the house, and get the mom to throw the son out of the house so that he wouldn't have to deal with the son's disrespect and non-compliance anymore. But what do you guys think? Please leave your comment in the comment section down below. Moving on to our next story. If you've been watching until here and are enjoying my content, please put some heart emojis in the comment section down below. Our next story is by Flying8888. Entitled Mom Tells 11-year-old to Defy Principal so that she can get another picture of her 4-year-old. Be aware that I was only 11 years old at the time. At the time, I was living in the UK, and it was my last few days of primary school, which meant that we were the oldest in the school and we were asked to do a lot of stuff. On the day of the story, me and a few of my friends were helping out a nursery sports day, field day in the US. We were each in charge of running a station where these children could do different sports such as running or jumping. Before the event started, we were given clear advice from the head teacher, principal, only to do the activity until the whistle blew. As the children were so young, most of them had parents who were cheering them on and generally not being too annoying. Sadly though, most is not all. Enter EM and her son. EM: can you please let my son go in front? Me: not wanting a confrontation. Okay, so I let her son go in front of the line for these bouncy space hoppers, which her 4-year-old son could not do. Me, being nice, gave him a hand and bounced him up in the air. EM, after his turn: can he have another turn because you were in the way of my photos? Me, taken aback by the rudeness, as he wouldn't have made it on his own. No, I'm sorry, the head teacher, principal, said no. EM: but I want to take another picture of him, you rude a-hole. Me: I can't. The head teacher gave clear instructions not to let anyone on after the whistle. EM grabs her poor son from sports day and runs away to complain to the principal. Luckily, I never heard from her again. Moving on to our final story. Our final story is posted by Phoenix BFN. A mother and her child try to steal my dog. So, for some backstory, I have a dog named Archie. We've had him since last summer and have loved him ever since. For people asking for a picture of him, I think there's one on Reddit somewhere. Anyway, I took him out for a walk today into the forest near my house like I usually do. The walk went as usual up until we were on our way back home. We just had reached our neighbor's fence when I heard a scream and running behind us. It was, I'm guessing, a 5-year-old boy running towards us, his mother behind him. I have gotten used to this type of reaction when walking with Archie. He is a white West Siberian Laika, so people seeing him gasping isn't really anything special to me. Just this felt different. Here comes the following conversation. K: what's its name? Me: his name is Archie. You may pet him. He doesn't hurt you. EM: hello. What a nice dog you have. What breed is he? Me: thanks. He's a West Siberian Laika. EM, are you sure he's a Laika? He looks like a Samoyed to me. Me, they do look similar, but Samoyeds have thicker fur. EM, look kid, I'm older than you and know more about everything than you do. He's a Samoyed. I bet you don't even feed him properly and that's why he's so skinny. Me, search images of Siberian Laikas and compare them to Samoyeds. They look different. I kneel down to talk to the kid. Hey kid, me and Archie are going home now. If you want to see him again, then he's in the yard almost every day. Kid, okay, bye Archie. By the way, the kid was the cutest 5-year-old I've ever seen. So, we had gotten back home and I was casually relaxing indoors. I let Archie outside because my mom was in the backyard. Sometime later, my mom came inside, leaving Archie outside. Couple minutes passed and I hear Archie barking and similar sounding voices outside. Archie barks all the time when somebody walks past, but what made me look outside were the voices. It was the kid again, patting Archie, but I couldn't see the kid's mother, who I assume was the other voice. I walked out of the front door to see the mother opening our front gate to let Archie out. I rushed over to talk to her. Me, what are you doing? EM, you're mistreating your dog. I'm letting him free. Me, we saved him from a man who beat him with a metal pipe. Stop what you're doing or I'll call the police. Because the front gate opens inward, I just leaned on it so that she couldn't open it. The EM literally grabbed me from my jacket and punched me in the face. I fell down to the ground, which allowed her to push the gate open. Then she asked the kid to come over to her. Archie, of course, followed the kid. Then, just like a movie, my neighbor, who had seen everything happen, walked up to us wearing a leather jacket, sunglasses, and holding a replica lever-action shotgun. He looked like a freaking Terminator. He quickly told the mother to get back and got Archie back in my yard. The EM was frozen in place. Meanwhile, her son didn't even care and was petting Archie again. My mother had already called the cops, noticed that some stranger was trying to steal Archie, so the waiting didn't take long. After some civilized talking, EM was accused of attacking me, entering private property, and trying to steal Archie, and attacking a police officer after she tried to tear one of their faces off when she was asked to get inside the police car. Too long didn't read. EM and I argue about the breed of my dog, and then she tries to steal that said dog because we're mistreating him. What the OP went through as a dog owner scares the crap out of me. That some random stranger all of a sudden deems you a unfit dog owner while you're walking the dog, no less, and then decides to come into your yard and take your dog away. A normal person would call the authorities and have them deal with it if they did actually believe that the animal was being mistreated. No, what I think was going on was she was mad that this kid had the nerve to correct her, and she didn't like that, and so she felt that she was entitled to take his dog away as a punishment. But the other reason why I think she was so obsessed with the dog being a Samoyed and not a Laika was that a Samoyed, according to a Google search, can go anywhere from $600 to $1,500, and if it comes from purebred stock, $3,000. So I think she was also maybe considering making a quick buck. Otherwise, why would the dog's breed be so important? I mean, most people probably wouldn't care. But what do you guys think? Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Anyway, that's all the stories I have for today. Links to the original Reddit posts will be in the description box below. Please stop on by Reddit to show the OP some love and an upvote. If you enjoy my content, please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to let you know when I've uploaded new videos. Thank you for watching and have a great day.